Now, the last concept that we want to talk about here is the confidence level. What does that confidence level mean when calculating a confidence interval? What does it mean to be 95% confident in our results? And so to illustrate this, we're going to look back at this scenario. Suppose that in a population of all people, systolic blood pressures have a mean of 125 and a standard deviation of 15. Okay? Now, this is going to be a hypothetical situation, so exactly how we know that mu equals 125 isn't at all relevant. This is a purely hypothetical situation. But we're going to use this situation to illustrate this idea of what a confidence level means. Okay? But we're going to pretend that we don't know the value of mu, and we're going to try to estimate it by taking random samples of 6 people, and for each sample we're going to construct a 95% confidence interval estimate of mu. And we're going to simulate doing this a whole bunch of times and analyze the results. And so if we go to the workbook chapter 8 and the worksheet CI simulation, which stands for confidence interval simulation, this is going to simulate doing this scenario a whole bunch of times. So here in the yellow cells we enter our values of our population parameters. Mu is 125 and sigma is 15. Here we'll enter our confidence level, which is 95%. And then in each one of these rows down here, there's a total of, I think, about 1,000 rows. We simulate taking samples of 6 people. So here's our first sample. The first person had a blood pressure of 150, the second had a blood pressure of 128, and so on and so forth. So there's our 6 people in that first sample. Here's the mean of that sample. We just added those up, divided by 6. That's what we got, 128. Here's the standard deviation of that sample. And then it calculates the margin of error. And then our confidence interval. There's the lower limit, there's the upper limit. Now, this confidence interval either contains the true value of mu or it doesn't. In this case, the true value is 125. 125 is between 115 and 141. And so that interval does contain the true value of mu. Now, in our second sample, the first person had a blood pressure of 102, the second 107, so on and so forth. Here's the sample mean, standard deviation, the margin of error, and then here's the confidence interval estimate for mu at the 95% confidence level using this data from the second sample. Now, like the first sample, this interval either contains the true value of mu or it doesn't. In this case, this interval does not contain the true value of mu because this upper limit is less than the true value of mu. So this interval does not contain mu, and so we put a 0 there. Now, if you hit the F9 key on your keyboard, it will the simulation will generate a new set of samples, and it's going to do 2,000 different samples. So press the F9 key several times, and what we want to do is look at this number up here. This number is titled the proportion of confidence intervals that contain the true value of mu. And so in this particular scenario that we've shown here, there's a total of 1,000 or 2,000 different samples. 95.5% of them contain the true value of mu. And so what we want to do is compare this number to this number here, the confidence level. And notice here that they're pretty similar. And so now we're going to let you play with this simulation a little bit. And so on your own, change the values of the parameters, meaning change mu, change sigma, change the confidence level. Each time hit F9 the key several times, and each time compare the confidence level to the proportion of confidence intervals that contain the true value of mu. So compare that confidence level to that number in the green cell and just look at what you observe. And then we're going to summarize our results or kind of present our results in the form of a discussion post. So in your discussion post, state in your own words kind of what you observed. State what the confidence level means when constructing a confidence interval estimate of a population parameter. and then respond to at least 2 classmates' posts.